November 7th, and you can see whatever's covering the moon. You can see the outline of it, like almost like a round screen, black screen. And whatever this green dot is around, I don't know if it's my camcorder, but it wasn't there last time I used my camcorder.
Hi, everybody. It's Steve Olson. It's WSO, October 20th, 2016. What we're looking at here is The Guardian, one of the papers, in the UK, which talks about a possible ninth planet being the reason for a tilt in our solar system. Now, we already know that researchers in January first talked about the possibility of a ninth planet. Now, do I think that this is the whole truth? Absolutely not. What this is, everybody, is the slow leaking of information to normalize other bodies in our sky and normalize that there is things that we don't know about in our universe. So basically I wanted to show this to you as a way to illustrate that slowly the water continues to raise in temperature as we're sitting in the pan, and we don't notice the temperature difference. But I'll tell you something. Let's just put it this way. If I would have showed you this article 3 years ago or 2 years ago, and it was coming out of the Guardian, this would have sent the whole Nibiru community into a freak out. And that's just to illustrate that we have been getting spoon-fed all this information up until now, and that's why it doesn't seem any remarkable anymore. Now we're looking at all kinds of other bizarre stuff. So just something to think about. But go check it out. Again, they're looking at this being another pointer towards this ninth planet, but we already know that we already know there's a second solar system.
Okay, so this is from a subscriber, Michael, and I asked him. He basically took these shots, and I'll tell you the story here. They were taken this morning on the 18th, that is, around 3:30 a.m. on the 18th in my front yard. The star appears around sunset up above the setting sun and stays visible for about 45 minutes before it's dropped out of sight. It is very bright and big. I live 18 miles from town out in the desert, so I have a nice view of the sky at night. I have several more pics, and I also sent you some of the moon, etc. And there we go. That is a picture of the eyeball orb, again, at just before sunrise, apparently like up to an hour before sunrise, very bright. This is exactly what Mark caught, and this is also what we've been talking about as the, I don't know, what is it? What is it? What is it? It's got a G in the middle of it. Anyway, I don't know what it is, guys. But this is that one-eyed object, and this is a very clear shot taken with a regular camera. So we don't even need telescopic lenses to see it anymore. Just wanted to update you on that. Just brought this to my attention, and I wanted to share it with you. This is back to the SDO again, right? The SDO spacecraft. You can see here, the date is 10/19. Okay. We'll start out look at 211 angstroms, which is a band of X-ray. Now check out what happens at about 1653 UTC here. Check it out. The image of the sun is being either blocked, obfuscated, or something. Okay. Now check this out. It's not just in 2 and 11. It's in all the bands. Okay. Now, what we try to do is we go down to 94 whenever something like this happens. We try to see if there's a grid in there, and there's the grid. Okay? So let's keep looking at it at the 94 angstroms. There we go. And let's just keep going through the day here. Disappearing completely from SDO. Oh, whoa, what was that? Let's go back here. Now, this could be some kind of changing of apparatus or device or something like that, but check out this image here. I mean, if the device is being moved or something like that, it's still pretty amazing. It's almost as if the sun or the spacecraft, either the spacecraft was moving really rapidly or nothing to do with what I read from the letter, but he didn't send a picture, but it's an interesting letter. First, the picture. This is from one of the addicted to sports cameras in Europe. They're placed all over southern France, Switzerland, Germany. In this particular one, I thought it was interesting because it has a reflection of the orb in the water. And it's very, very compelling. I do think that this has got to be the dark star because it's surrounded in iron oxide. I still believe that theory right now. But anyway, let me read this letter. This is from Fabcam in the Netherlands. Hi, Stephen. It was a night to remember. Right after having breakfast at 07:30 a.m., I looked at the clouds in the dark morning sky traveling through the air from a north-northwest direction heading south-southeast with a reddish glow on it. Even the tiniest plasma discharges within the clouds were clearly visible. On that moment, I was standing in the backyard. It sounds obvious whenever I tell you something about the weather conditions overnight. It was quiet, cold, cloudy night with only a little bit of rain. So basically, he wanted to let me know that he saw something pretty wild, and I think it's interesting. Thank you for your testimony. I'm just going to walk through a few photos that were sent in by subscribers, which are awesome. This one, again, we're seeing this another manifestation of something that has a red trailing cloud to it. Again, I can't tell you because I didn't get a lot of information about this photograph, but still quite interesting, and thank you for that. Here, I wanted to keep showing you. These are different people from around the world that are capturing that same orb with different photographic devices. This one is coming from Australia. This one's coming from the United States somewhere. Southern United States. This is the photo we got from Scott yesterday. Check this out, man. This is another sunshot right here taken by a subscriber that shows, again, the structure of this either amplification or distortion or both device that we have clearly busted, and we know now what it is. Pretty interesting. Now that we know what we're looking at, the corroborating evidence blows in. Here's one from the 17th that just corroborates with Wayne's photograph, but this one comes from Mexico. This is where the sun is rising behind us, and we're seeing the light source emanating. That's the moon. The light source emanating from the opposite horizon, which is no way to explain it, guys, except that there's some kind of a light source there that's in the very low band ranges. Why do I say that? Because the predominant color that you're seeing is red. Red is at the lowest end of the spectrum in terms of before it goes down into UV. Here's another orb shot. Here's another orb shot. And by the way, a lot of you guys probably didn't know why I was playing this, but I wanted to explain this one to you. The FLIR film that I took a couple days ago, and I was trying to do an analysis on the, basically on the sun with the FLIR camera. So what I do is I got it locked in, but I'm seeing weird. Again, how do you see a weird reflection like that when you're using a thermal detecting device? But you can see how the different layers of the shield or whatever we're seeing there is at different temperatures. And then when you get to the center, it's very hot, obviously. But why would it be cooler and cooler as you go out through the layers? That's not how the sun works. And again, look at that lens flare, man. What the heck? Let's go back and look at that again. But look at this. What is that? Why do you get that on a I just can't figure out why to get that on a thermal imager. You know what I mean? Interesting times we live in. And then finally, I wanted to show you this comparison again. We got more photographs that corroborated this again, and now they're pouring in because we're learning together, and that's what this channel is all about. We're trying to learn what's going on together. This is how we do it. Scott, I, others in this community all want to do the right thing. And so what we're trying to do is bring you the most information so you can make decisions for yourself. That's how this thing works. Hope you're getting value out of this. I love you guys so much. Can't believe it. I pray for you all every day. Trust me, I do. We've been talking about the magnetopause reversal over the last several days, and if you haven't, go back and check out the last couple of videos that we did. Here is evidence that we got from several subscribers, by the way, of actually picking up a visual on an object behind the moon at the time that we saw the magnetopause reversal. So that is not a lens flare, because a lens flare can't be a different color. Photons and all. But anyway, I just wanted to show you guys that we did get corroborating photos of indeed an object that would explain our magnetopause. More evidence that piles up on that issue. I'm just going to show you this picture again. It's just one of those kind of interesting series of lens flares that show a lot of the same shapes and objects. This again from, I don't think it's Arizona or somewhere like that. But I want to read another letter to you, okay? Confidentially. Now, meaning confidentially, don't share my name, don't share anything about me, don't do anything that would compromise my identity. Basically what we're seeing, and this is kind of I think these things are all connected. Okay, I think that the approach to the system and the Russian saber rattling, United States saber rattling, and all the different weirdness going on politically are all connected, and that's why I'm going to share this with you. Russia is moving in a large armada around Scandinavia and Europe on the way to the Middle East. Flight crews have seen it from the air. This obviously is from an airline employee. Air marshals are saying that the election mess and Mosul push are great cover the Russians are using to move without press talking about it. Largest aircraft carrier in the world covered with bombers, along with enough naval vessels to fight a major war, not just a bunch of rebels and Kurds in Syria. So basically, it's setting up just like the scriptures have kind of said. It was putting out a corroborating video on News Channel 428. You want to take a look. It was a guy named Amir Safardi, and he's a captain in the Israeli military, and he also corroborates this. This makes the end times wars in the Middle East much more close to happening. It's just interesting, and we have to resist it. You cannot get into this war thing. War does not equal peace, ever. And so do not participate. Do not get sucked into the war fever. We need to pray and ask God to fill us and live love and peace right now. That is the combat right now. That's what a Christian should be doing, is praying that these things don't happen. And even if they do happen and it's the Lord's will that things have to go down a certain way, we are still supposed to be the bringers of peace, love, and joy. That's it, man. That's my role. That's your role. Light worker, you.